Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jay here from Faith Evolved, where I talk about all things spiritual, metaphysical, philosophical, and mental health. And it's your first time here. Thanks for joining me today. But this is going to be a little bit of a different type of video than I usually do. It'll be more of a personal update video. But definitely go ahead and check out the video section and see if any of the content I have resonates with you. And if it does, I appreciate your subscription. Of course, like this video, subscribe, and, let's talk. Put something in the comments, and I like to respond as much as I possibly can. Anyways, little update today. This is my really my second time driving in almost 5 weeks, because I went to the Philippines. First, I went to Florida. I got to see my mom, had a company work event, and then from about February 25 through March 22nd, I was in the Philippines. And I am now engaged. So long story short, I met a girl from the Philippines back in late August 2024. We have been talking. I met her on Pina Love, which is we're usually Westerners go to try to find a girl from the Philippines for a relationship, and so that's what I did. I went through a lot of different profiles, and we started talking, and she was one of the only girls who would actually really talk back and respond. Most of them were just like, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" And then they expect you to lead the entire conversation. A lot of the girls are there are on the shy side, but she was definitely interested and wanted to get to know me. Would ask me questions, would respond. She set herself apart pretty quickly. And we had been talking for a while, get to know each other, and then we had some really good chemistry. And eventually I asked her on November 2nd, 2024 to be my girlfriend. And, shortly after that, I scheduled my visit. Once I confirmed, when the work retreat was going to be, I was able to schedule it to be right after that. So I think I had decided I wanted to see her in February, March, and it actually worked out that way. So I went and got to know each other more in person, and it was then I decided she's a really good woman for me, and I decided to ask her to marry me. It's kind of a funny story how that came about, because I had been looking for engagement rings, and being in she's in Davao, and we were kind of outside of the city. Now, granted, I did have a car that I was renting, but I didn't really know where to look. I was on Lazada. I was looking around to try to see if there's anything at the pawn shops or something, and there wasn't really any ring, any jewelry stores. And the ones that were there didn't really have any engagement rings that I could see. So, trying to do this while we're together 24/7 is hard. Trying to be, because you want to surprise her, right? So all that combined made it pretty tough. I wasn't able to find anything. And we had scheduled a weekend trip at Samal Island, which is you got to take a ferry to get there. The bridge isn't built yet to get from Davao City to Samal Island. So on the way there, we stopped at a mall, and she was looking at trying to find a bikini for the beach, because we're going to go to the beach on Samal Island, and I was like, let me go. I had went to the bathroom, and then I came out, and I went left, she went right. I didn't realize where she was for a bit, so I used that as an excuse to look for a ring. That was my time to do it. I was like, anytime, it's now or never. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna tell her I'm looking at some electronics, and in fact, I was looking at rings. I went to 3 different jewelry stores, and it was hard to find one that was the right price, but also the right size. She's a smaller, more petite woman, and so I had I didn't know what her ring size was, so I asked ChatGPT what's the ring size of a woman who's 4'11" and petite, and they said, well, probably size 5, get maybe 5.5 to be safe. You can always get it sized down, whatever. And trying to find a ring that was size 5. So I went to this last store, and they had one ring that was her size. Well, according to ChatGPT, size 5. So, anywho, I buy the ring. Well, first, the funny part is, they offered a better price to pay cash. So I said, all right, let me go to the ATM, because they could take a credit card, but I was like, why pay more if I can get it for less? So I went to the ATM and withdrew the appropriate funds, went back and paid for it, and got the ring and quickly ran out to the car and put it in my suitcase. So she had no idea. And then I finally caught up with her and we left. Then a couple days later at Salmon Island is when I proposed to her. But before I did that, in the car on the way to the resort, which we were going to, she noticed a receipt with the amount that I had withdrawn and the total amount in the bank. And I was like, oh shoot. She's like, what is this? And looking, she's like, this is a lot. I was like, oh yeah, let's just put it this way: the dollar goes pretty far in the Philippines, so the amount that I had in my bank account looks like a lot to her. It was a decent amount, don't get me wrong. I had just gotten paid, but wasn't anything crazy, but it was enough for her to be like, what is this? So I had to make up a story quick on the spot. I'm like, oh, I just was walking on the floor and I picked it up and I just put it in my pocket. Thought it was mine, but apparently it wasn't, or something. I just came up with some BS. And she bought it, which was absolutely astonishing to me, because I'm like, I'm a terrible liar. So anyways, she kept it. But she bought my story. But a couple days later I proposed to her and she said yes, of course. But then I told her the story. I said, by the way, that ATM receipt was mine. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe how stupid I was that I believed you. I'm like, I can't believe you bought it, because I'm a terrible liar. That was really the stupidest. I mean, what else could I say, right? But yeah, it was kind of funny, how that came about. So I think she saved the ATM receipt. Just for, a joke we can, a story we can tell people later. But yeah, it's the story of, how I bought the engagement ring and was able to propose to her, and she had no idea. We get along great. Great chemistry, and she's a very, all the things you hear about Filipinas, being, sweet, affectionate, loyal, kind. It's not beneath them to take care of their man, whether that's, emotionally or even, cleaning, cooking, stuff like that. She's all the above and then some. And, I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm blessed. And I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen next. Our plan right now is, for me to go back in December. At least that's my hope, is my boss will approve me to go back again for 2 weeks plus 2 weeks working remotely, which worked out great. And after I see her in December, which will be great, be a great birthday present to myself, because that's December 15th is my birthday, and then Christmas and New Year's. So it'll be pretty cool to be able to go for those 3 occasions. And then after that, I'm already starting the process, getting her passport, and the visa, and all that stuff. And the goal is, after she graduates from college, gets her bachelor's degree, that she'll be shortly thereafter coming here to the U.S. To live with me, and eventually, official marriage. So, yeah, that's what's happened. That's the latest and greatest in my life. I should be doing a photo/video dump on Facebook shortly, so any of those folks who are also my friends on Facebook, you'll get to see that. But yeah, appreciate you. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers. I have a good feeling that God's going to use our relationship, not just to bless ourselves, and each other, but others as well. So anyways, because she's a believer as well. She believes in God, and that was an important aspect as well of my decision. But anyways, folks, thanks for watching. See you guys soon. God bless.